You also use the cards
Yes.
to improve your business model. So what was the result of that?
So how I want to improve the business model, I selected 3 cards, which is experience selling, because I think experiences are getting more and more important also in the future. So we see, for example, that when you want to create innovation, that creativity is really important within businesses, but often there are either the structure of companies not correct, or there are also team formations that do not allow, or that at least do not foster to be creative. So how can we change the experiences within the team, and what should they be to actually do so? And then to be able to do so and to find that out, it really needs another card, which is orchestration. So to more identify the capabilities of the companies, and that all kind of works vice versa. And then another card I selected was white labeling, because more and more companies find out that they want to have their own innovation strategies, so that they can also expand it, because the vision and mission is more coming important, so they want to have something own. So by creating white label services, they can also create internal ownership of what has been developed for them and with them.
Yes.
And then you also have a better expandable business model than when you just give workshop yourself, when you teach them how to do it. And that
so you give them a tangible result that they can brand in their own terms, and that gives them an experience rather than some service.
So mostly it's a combination of service and product. For others, their business model toolkits, or a set of really tools that are tangible, and then you design a process and you teach them how to teach processes.
Very interesting. So what I like about the solution is that you make clear which cards you use and how that changes your business model from a more traditional giving advice in towards more a service and offering an experience to the customer.
Yeah.
Very nice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Stefan, you've also looked at the assignments. You did own your own business.
Yes.
So could you tell me how did your strategy look like?
Well, I used to own a hosting company which offers game services to consumers.
What's hosting?
Hosting is when you have your internet-related service. So if you want to play a game, you need to go on some specific location on the internet to play it together with friends.
Yes.
And that is organized by a hosting company to make sure there is that place.
Okay.
So, and you need to pay for that in order to be that, for there to be that place. So, and that, it was aimed at gamers, which means usually young people, and the competition, as is there, it was generally some established parties, big established parties, which are big, have large economies of scale, which means they can profit from offering much and having,
that's your competition.
That was my competition. And on the other side, new entry players, which were still pretty small, could operate really quick, and did not yet have the ambition to make a lot of profit, so they could keep their prices reasonably low. So on both ends, there were these large parties that had huge economies of scale, that had low prices. And on the new startups also had very low pricing because they didn't have the profit aim yet.
Yeah. That's a difficult competitive position that you were in.
It was very difficult. So we established that we needed to quickly become one of the big parties in order to be able to also have these economies of scale. Unfortunately, we were not able to do that, and as within our deadline we set ourselves, so we decided to sell it. And because there was such huge economies of scale for the big parties, we were able to sell it as a really good price, because the big parties wanted to buy as much of market share as possible.
Okay, so you analyzed your strategy, and the end result was that you should end your business and sell it.
Yes, so the strategy was the best way of making money is selling the company.
So that can also be a very good outcome of business model innovation, that you learn that your business model or your strategy is not so sustainable, and that you should go to your next venture.
Yes.
Very nice. So were the cards any helpful? Because you sold your business.
I sold my business, so on the off chance that I would have continued it, what would I have done? What would have I done? I thought about doing mass customization So with only a few clicks, you can create your fully custom server, which is completely set up for you. Then, so this is to provide sort of service, change the offering, make it for the client, which usually doesn't have that much technical expertise, but still wants it completely set up. And then because we had this strategy of having a lot of market share, of getting big very fast, we thought about adopting a freemium with advertising model. So the idea is that very small servers, you would offer them for free and just put some advertising inside to cover the cost. Yes. But as soon as you actually want some other people to join, or like more than one or two friends to join in, you need to pay. Now this lowers the threshold for people who are starting to use your service. At the same time, you don't really make a loss because you have advertising on it. You make a small loss, but it's okay. And the big thing about this, which is back to the strategy again, we need to grow fast, like get a lot of people on those platforms fast. So that's why I would have taken these steps.
What I like is that the business model changes, two of them, they also impact your strategy. So if you go to mass customization, it means that you change your competitive position, because you start to differentiate from those very cheap and those very big players. And with the freemium and advertising, it's a way to gain that market share and become very big yourself. So you can see in your solution that there is an impact from the business model to the strategy of the company.
Yes.
That's very nice. Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I hope that you enjoyed the assignment, and this gives you one or two examples of how to do it. Of course, there can be many solutions, so we are looking forward to seeing yours.